This is a case of a 59-year-old female lady who was admitted on 20th May 2016 and discharged on 4th June 2016 at some hospital in Hyderabad with chief complaints of pain and burning sensation while micturition since 1 month, fatigue since 4 years, aggravated since 1 month, puffiness of face on and off since 4 years, aggravated since 1 month, drowsiness, feeling breathlessness while walking for short distance since 4 years, aggravated since 1 month. Along with the major complaints, she was also having back pain, reduced appetite, nausea on and off, increased frequency of urine since 4 years, aggravated since 1 month. So all the symptoms were since 4 years and they were aggravated since 1 month. So the problem was more during this 1 month. So patient is known case of hypertension since 10 years, chronic kidney disease since 4 years. All relevant blood examination done showed raised creatinine, low GFR, for which medication was started. 1 month back, suddenly she developed fever with chills along with painful and burning sensation while micturition. It was a squeezing type of pain which developed prior, during, and even after voiding the urine associated with burning sensation. She developed puffiness of face and swelling over bilateral feet, persisting throughout the day and lasting up to 3 days or more, for which they consulted their physician and were given symptomatic treatment. Hence, fever and swelling over the feet subsided. Puffiness of face, burning sensation, and painful micturition persisted. Simultaneously, patient developed complaint of tiredness throughout the day, need support to get up from bed, walking, climbing, breathlessness while walking for short distance from bed till door, no interest to do any activity, reduced appetite and nausea. Patient also complain of back pain in the lumbar region, non-radiating, which she feels like originating from deep within. As she is undergoing regular checkup and taking treatment for chronic renal disease, her consultant advised to start with dialysis as the kidney function tests were much hampered. So overall, it was a case of hypertension, known case of hypertension, and problem related with kidney since 4 years, and the chief complaints, all the complaints were aggravating since 1 month. And finally, the kidney functions were hampered. She was advised to get dialysis. Past history. So she had past history of hemorrhage in right eye. Treatment for same was done 6 years back. She has history of cataract in left eye 4 years back and operated for the same. History of asthma in the year 1987 subsided in same year. So here you can see how to take a detailed history. Every complaint was taken in detail, every complaint was explained in detail, and now we have come to past history. So this hemorrhage is related to hypertension because she had hypertension since 10 years. She might have developed this hemorrhage in the eye. Then she had history of headache for 20 years, used to take painkillers. So this headache is also relevant with the hypertension and renal failure. She was known case of hypertension since 10 years and she was on medication. She had history of herpes 3 years back, history of chickenpox at the age of 7, history of UTI 1 year back, and she was not a case of diabetes, hypothyroidism or tuberculosis. She does not have past history of diabetes, hypothyroidism and tuberculosis. So all the relevant history, past history was taken. So you have to take history in detail, whether it is relevant or not to the present illness. You have to take each and every history in detail, and then finally after taking history you can relate it later on. Menstrual history, she had menarche at the age of 13, menopause at the age of 45. She had history of severe menstrual bleeding for 6 years with dysmenorrhea, for which she used to take meftal continuously for 15 days in dose of 3 tablets per day for 1.5 years along with ibuprofen occasionally. Obstetric history P8, A6, L2, D0. All are induced abortions. She had two children, two females of age 37 and 32. No history of tubectomy done, history of property contraception for 2 years. Treatment history of 3 DMC done in between 2002 to 2007. And she was already on these medications. So this is the medication Twinkle, tablet Twinkle BD. Twinkle is and tablet Prasugrel XL OD. So these are antihypertensives. So she was a known case of hypertension. She was taking antihypertensives. So this is calcium channel blocker and this is alpha blocker. Tablet Diator OD. This is diuretic. So she was a case of renal disease. That is why she was taking a diuretic Diator. Tablet alpha keto analog. She was taking thrice a day. That is a dietary supplement for renal failure patient. So Cinacalcet is for the patient having increased parathyroid hormone. So all those who are having chronic renal failure, they will be having altered vitamin D metabolism. So we know that kidney is also helping in vitamin D metabolism. So the vitamin D which is taken in diet, it is activated, it is converted into activated vitamin D, vitamin D3 by the kidneys. So because she is having the chronic renal failure, she is on the vitamin D metabolism is affected and therefore the parathyroid hormone is raised. So there is hyperparathyroidism. So this tablet Cinacalcet is for reducing the parathyroid hormone to normal levels. Then tablet refill. Tablet refill is iron supplement. So kidney patient, kidney is also help in production of erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is important for stimulating the bone marrow for erythropoiesis. So because kidney is affected, erythropoietin secretion is also affected, erythropoiesis is also affected, RBC production is not normal and the patient is suffering from anemia. So for that you require to give iron supplement. Along with that EpoFit injection. EpoFit is recombinant erythropoietin injection. So you have to give external erythropoietin therapy to support erythropoiesis. Because kidney is not working properly, you are giving EpoFit injections. Capsule of Oferol is also given. This Oferol is calcitriol, vitamin D3. Because kidney is also helping in calcium metabolism, in activation of vitamin D, we have to give activated vitamin D in form of tablets. Capsule RAMCAP. RAMCAP is multivitamin because the patient is suffering from kidney disease from so long. Family history, there was no family history pertaining to the present illness. So no significant family history was there. Personal history, diet mixed, appetite reduced, sleep disturbed, micturition hardly once, 10 times per day. So she was having polyuria because the tubular functions are affected. There is no proper reabsorption and she is passing so much of urine, 8 times per night. So nocturia, polyuria, urgency is also there. Bowels once a day, heart stress are passed, no clear evacuation. There is no significant habits. Sleeping after lunch for 2 hours. General examination was done. The female is obese build, moderately nourished, afebrile, is oriented to time, place, and in person. There was pallor present because of anemia, because the patient is kidney renal failure patient. There is no edema, nails, transverse lines are present over the nails. There is no cyanosis, icterus, and there is no lymphadenopathy. Tongue is non-coated. Pulse is 76 beats per minute. Blood pressure is 150 by 100 millimeters of mercury. Temperature is 96.6 degree Fahrenheit, afebrile. Respiratory rate is 18 per minute. So it is on a higher side. Blood pressure is on higher side. So patient is hypertensive and breathless also. So she is having breathlessness also. She is not able to respire properly. Height 150 centimeter, weight 73, BMI 32.4. Systemic examination, abdominal examination was done. Inspection, shape of abdomen distended, umbilicus inverted, centrally placed. Palpation, it was soft abdomen. So tenderness was present in the epigastrium, left hypogastrium, umbilical and left iliac. So you can deduce that left kidney was most likely to be affected. No rebound tenderness, no organomegaly, so there was no enlargement of liver, spleen and kidney. Percussion and auscultation, NAD means no abnormality detected, so it was normal. Kidney and urinary system, costovertebral tenderness was present, urgency, frequency and dysuria. So this is symptomatology, this is not examination. Respiratory system, bilateral, normal vesicular breath sounds were heard. Crepitation heard over right and left lower zone. Mostly the patient was going into failure, patient was having back pressure changes and there was crepitation heard in the lungs, in the chest. CVS S1, S2 heard no added sound, so CVS was normal. MSK means musculoskeletal system. So there was tenderness over L1, L2, L3, L4. So the area of where the kidney is located, there was tenderness. SLR negative. SLR is straight leg rest test. ROM range of movement possible. So that means the bones and skeletal system was normal. Investigations. Serum creatinine 7.7. So normal serum creatinine is less than 1. So it was highly raised 7.7 milligram per deciliter. Blood urea 106 milligram per deciliter. The normal blood urea is around 20 to 25. So it was highly raised. So this suggests of renal failure. Nephrons were not working. GFR was only 10. The normal GFR is 125 ml per minute and it was reduced to such a low level, it was only 10. Peripheral smear test, normocytic hypochromic. That means there was anemia present. Hemoglobin was less. Hypochromic is when the hemoglobin levels are less. Normocytic means the size of cells were normal. So again, relevant with the condition chronic renal failure. Parathyroid hormone was raised so much so 479. Normal is 20 to 50 picogram and it was highly raised 479. So again because of the function of kidney which converts vitamin D into activated vitamin D which is responsible for the calcium metabolism. Urine analysis. Urine was clear, specific gravity 1.005. Proteins were present in the urine. So we know nephrons, the normal glomerular membrane does not allow proteins to pass through. So the normal urine does not contain any proteins. But here proteins were present. That means the glomerular membrane has been damaged. There was loss of nephrons, there was nephropathy, there was renal failure, there was kidney disease which has damaged the glomerular membrane and there was leakage of protein in the urine. Sugar present. Patient is not having diabetes. Still sugar is present in urine. That means the nephron, the glomerular membrane is damaged which is passing sugar into the urine, bus cells. And because of such a long standing renal failure, the person is having infection also. So the urine is having 15 to 20 bus cells also. There was no RBC and no cast. If you see the whole history, examination and investigation, you can understand. If you know the function of kidney, normal function of kidney, you can understand how the kidney is damaged here and how the manifestations have occurred. So we can infer from all the history, examination and investigation, the person is having CRF, chronic renal failure. So there are presence of markers of kidney damage for more than 3 months. Raised urea, creatinine. There is functional abnormality of kidney with decreased GFR. GFR has been decreased. There is anemia. There is hypertension. There is raised PTH, parathyroid, nausea, reduced appetite, history of peripheral edema. So she is having edema over both the fields. She is having puffiness of face. That means the excretory function, the extracellular volume maintenance is not being done properly. Over and above this CRF, she is presently having cystitis, because of which she is having frequency, urgency, dysuria, burning micturition or fever, pyuria, presence of pus cells in the urine, hypogastric is occurred. So since 1 month, the aggravation of symptoms are because of cystitis. Cystitis means infection of the bladder. What we are concerned more about here in this case is chronic renal failure, and we are concerned about the function of kidney, normal function of kidney, and how it is affected gradually and progressively in chronic renal failure. Gradually and progressively, all the nephrons go on getting damaged, and gradually the functions are affected. And the renal function test, if you see, there is raised urea, raised creatinine, decreased GFR, anemia. So a person of chronic renal failure or renal insufficiency is like this, having edema, reduced GFR, anemia, increased serum potassium, increased blood pressure, weakness, fatigue, increased blood urea nitrogen, serum creatinine. Initially, she will be having polyuria, increased micturition or increased urine frequency, and finally oliguria means now the kidney is no longer processing urine or forming urine, so she will have oliguria at a later age. There is decreased ability to concentrate urine and headache. Classical picture of chronic renal failure patient. So this is the case of one patient having chronic renal failure because of, and the kidneys were affected because of long-standing hypertension. So what is chronic renal failure? Chronic renal failure is a progressive loss in renal function over a period of months or years, is caused by any condition which destroys the normal structural properties of nephron, which helps in filtration. It is slow, insidious, irreversible deterioration of renal function resulting in development of uremia. So the deterioration in renal function is irreversible. Once a nephron is damaged, it cannot be reversed. Manifestation appears after two-thirds of nephron loss. So this is the misfortune or bad luck, that after two-thirds is already damaged, then only manifestation occurs. So a person does not know about the renal damage until and unless two-thirds of nephron has been already damaged. The causes of chronic renal failure are chronic glomerulonephritis. So the infection in the glomerular or nephrons, pyelonephritis in the renal tubules. So if the infection is in the renal tubules and the nephrons, polycystic kidney, if there is cyst in the kidney. And the most important and most common is systemic diseases like diabetes, mellitus, and hypertension. If moresoever when they are not controlled, if you are not taking proper medicines for it, so diabetes and hypertension, long standing for a long time and unmanaged or mismanaged, if you are not taking proper medicines proper timely, so this renal failure may occur. So pathophysiology, if we see polyuria, the patient will have polyuria because of loss of tubular function. Toxemia means now the kidney is not able to properly filter because of decreased renal plasma flow, decreased GFR. So because of that, all the toxic metabolites will be accumulated in our body and it will lead to toxemia, and finally it will cause anorexia, vomiting, loss of appetite. Then there will be edema because proper urine is not formed, proper filtration is not formed, there will be edema. Metabolic acidosis, hyperkalemia. So all the problems related with fluid and electrolyte balance will occur. So there will be acid-base imbalance, decreased H plus secretion, and there will be acidosis. Hyperkalemia, so serum potassium levels will be increased. So electrolyte misbalance will be there. Anemia, because of decreased erythropoietin, there will be anemia. Osteomalacia, because of decreased vitamin D3 with raised parathyroid, there will be weakness in the bone. All the calcium required for the body will be absorbed from the bones. So there will be weakness of the bones and leading to osteomalacia. Finally, all the toxic metabolites will be accumulated in the body, in the blood, and there will be uremic coma. So it will be going into the liver, accumulating in the liver, causing the hepatic encephalopathy. If it reaches the brain, it will cause coma, hypotension, and if not treated, finally it may lead to death in the advanced cases. So how do you manage a case of chronic hypertension? First and foremost is treat the cause, manage the cause. Hypertension, diabetes, UTI, urinary infection, and calculi. So whatsoever is the cause, treat the cause, manage the cause. If a person of hypertension and diabetes is there, so you have to manage it. Getting their urea and creatinine done at proper interval of times. Avoid nephrotoxic drugs. Any drug like hypoglycemic drug used for diabetes mellitus, they are nephrotoxic. So avoid these nephrotoxic drugs. Prevent further progression by control of infection. If there is any infection, treated. Hypertension and diabetes, control the BP and blood sugar. Control anemia, give iron supplements. Control of acidosis, control of electrolyte imbalance. Diet restriction. So kidney patient require diet restriction also. Input output charting. If proper output is not there, proper amount of urine is not passed, if there is oliguria, you have to manage input. So the person has to take input or drink water according to the output, and then put the patient on dialysis. And the final treatment for chronic renal failure, if the kidney damaged totally, there is option of renal transplantation.